Hello, hello, hello. Just waiting for everything to come on board here. Let's see if I can find myself
Someone
on here. Last minute, I decided to go live this afternoon. Um,
is still.
Hello, hello, everybody. Oh, I think I found us. Am I in the group or am I on the page? I never know. I get so confused sometimes. I should do something a little different so I can keep the group and the page separate. Because they both have the same name. I think my cover photo's different on each one of them. So I decided to jump on tonight just to see how everybody's doing because this energy has been a little nutso for me. If you aren't somebody that keeps up on astrology, um, the astrology is intense from now until the end of the month, till the end of the year. And so for me, I've been noticing a combination of things, right? Like my intuition's telling me drink more water, and it's telling me to eat certain kinds of foods, um, like fruit instead of cookies. You know what I mean? Like healthier choices. I'm not a super healthy eater yet. It's one of my goals, and I've come a long way, baby, since I don't know, even a few years ago. But then I'll have my days when I'm like, you know what? If I feel like eating cookies all day, I'm gonna eat cookies all day. So I'm not always the best when it comes to the diet aspect of things, but I've been getting a lot of intuitive hits on upping the water, lowering the caffeine. Caffeine's like really affecting me more than normal this last probably week and a half. Cause I could drink, I'm at work, right? So I don't drink a bunch at once, but I'll just sip on coffee all morning pretty much till lunchtime and it doesn't bother me. But the other day when I was at home, I was doing that at home. I probably drink more than I normally do, but it really like my nervous system just went nuts. It was like I didn't know if I was going to pass out or hyperventilate or have a heart attack or what. So, anyways, I've been trying to cut back on the caffeine and then up the water, and then I've been tired. And you know what? This time of the year tends to do that anyways because of our lack of sunshine. And so I'm trying to be more mindful. I don't know if you guys have heard of a SAD light for seasonal affective disorder, but I have one of those and those really help. I also made sure I went around my house this last weekend and made sure that like if I have a light fixture that takes three light bulbs, I actually had three light bulbs in there that were working instead of just one or two because that really helps also with my mental state. It's so weird because it's so dark, right? And so then there's part of me that just wants to kind of cocoon up, but then there's part of me that's like ready to go to bed at 6 o'clock at night. So I don't know why this year is so much harder than the other years, but when I'm listening to the astrologers, they make it sound like it's quite the different year energetic wise. Like we have like a whole bunch of planets in retrograde right now, not even to mention like the big dogs like Mars and Mercury. Um and we officially there's like no more everybody was fighting over the official start of the age of Aquarius and every single possibly thing that could happen that could have been the start of the age of Aquarius has happened. So we're officially 100% all in now on the age of Aquarius, which I already forgot what we were in before Aquarius, but it was basically power from the top down, and now Aquarius is going to be power, taking the power back, and things are going to be run from the bottom up. Um, and so it's a big shakeup, right? With the governments and things all around the world, people are fighting for the commoner, right? It's not going to be the 5% running the whole world anymore. So this isn't going to happen overnight, right? The age of Aquarius is, I can't even remember for sure, but I want to say it's a few, at least, geez, I'm going to Google it for you because I don't remember. But I mean, when I die, it'll still be the age of Aquarius. Oh, yeah. It's like 1,000 years or something like that. So, don't take that as fact to Google it or talk to like Tammy Cantrell. She's one of my trusted astrologers, and also I have a couple I follow on YouTube. But it's gonna be a while. Like I said, when I pass away, even when I live to be 130, like I plan to, it's still gonna be the age of Aquarius. So I'm excited about that. But in order for all that to take place, we have to crumble down, the things have to crumble that were built so that they can be rebuilt, right? So there's a little craziness going on as far as that's concerned too. Um, Hi Jen. I don't know if I missed you, but I'm just seeing your comment now. Um, I'm looking at my phone here trying to keep track of what's going on. Sorry. It doesn't show up on the computer, the comments for some reason. So, anyway, um, so I think just I'm really good at picking up on the collective energies. So my advice is watch your caffeine intake. If you're tired, rest, even if it seems like you're resting more than you should be. Get a sad light if you know that you get affected by the dark days up in the north here. Move, even if it's just a 15-minute walk, easy walk. Like it doesn't have to be even a fast power walk, right? Just 15 minutes sometime each day is huge for your mood. Even if, and I even heard, and I don't know if this is true, but even if you did like 5 minutes, like 2 or 3 times a day, even helps. I think anything is better than nothing when it comes to exercise because that just tells your body that you're trying to take care of it and you're being mindful and you're trying to be healthy. And that's just good for your self esteem and your self confidence and everything, right? And then be mindful of what you're putting in your body. I think that if we slowed down, I know I'm having trouble because now that I'm realizing how unhealthy food is, most of it in the United States, I'm having a hard trouble even wanting to eat any of it. And then I go through this, well, if it's all crappy, then why not just eat whatever I want? I'm like having this battle with my inner toddler, especially during the holidays. That's why I decided I wasn't going on any diets or brand new food things until after the holidays. I just remind myself that doesn't mean it gives me a right to go nuts and, gain an extra 30 pounds, right? I don't want to do that either. But when I'm talking about food right now, it's just for me, it's for my energy. Like, I can't eat too big of meals because they're too heavy right now. I can't eat too much sugar because that just shuts me down, right? I go on that roller coaster. Obviously, I can't have too much caffeine either. It does the same thing. It took me like, I laid down, it took me like 3 hours for my nervous system to settle down after that crazy coffee morning I had the other day. Get outside. It's been weird weather here too, like in Minnesota. It's been raining and then snowing and then raining and then windy as hell. And so, I mean, I had one good, really good day and I made sure I went out and I went for a walk, right? Like fresh air, however you can get it. Even if you're sitting in your garage with the door open, right? At least it's fresh air. Um, that's a plus. Also, I know it's cold out, so nobody wants to go outside, but man, bundle up, get that fresh air, get that movement if you can. I know for me too, like I I've talked a lot about energy showers and an energy shower basically is where you run in the shower, well don't run, but you know what I mean. Get in the shower, rinse off, let all the stress and energy from other people, you visualize it getting rinsed down the drain and you get out. Like I don't wash my hair, I don't do anything. And I don't use super hot water, right? Because in the winter your skin gets really dry, especially if you're using really hot water. It doesn't have to be hot water. You don't have to even use soap. You just rinse off. And so, like if I get home from work, let's say, and I'm just tired, I don't feel like doing anything, but I've got, 5 hours left of day and I can't just call it quits because I'm unmotivated. You know what I mean? If I was tired, that's a whole nother ballgame if I'm really tired. But this is what I do because sometimes I think I'm tired, but if I go do this little energy shower, then when I come out, I'm not tired anymore. Okay? If I was still tired after that, I'd probably just get ready and go to bed early. I'd eat my supper, go to bed early. Um, but it will help. Like if it's just that you're unmotivated, it'll help kind of reset your nervous system and give you a couple more hours of motivation before you go to bed. So that's one of my big lifesavers right now. Salt baths are great if you're able to do salt baths. And I use I use anywhere from 2 to 4 cups of Epsom salts when I do a salt bath. And it doesn't even have to be that long of a salt bath. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it takes me longer to get it ready than it does for me to be in the bath. But if you could do like 15, 20 minutes, that's amazing. Um, I also have my Himalayan salt lamps going. I also have a frequency generator that I run pretty steady now when I'm sleeping. That's another thing I'm noticing. We're getting a lot of light codes and downloads, and so I'm finding a lot more comfortable being in a higher frequency right now. I'm not sure what that means. I know when you're up on the higher frequencies, that's when you're going to get like your downloads and channeling and things like that. And those are some of the things I've been working on. So I think that's why, because I think a lot of that stuff is is on board and now it's kind of integrating and upgrading, if that makes sense. And so that's one theory. My second theory is that there's so much stress and everybody's so burnt out and stressed out in the collective that if I can just stay a little bit above that, it's like I don't have to feel like that pull. It's not so draining, like it's trying to pull me down all the time. And I'm lucky because I have a job that I only have to go to like for a day and a half, 2 days a week, right? So most of the time, if I want to just stay in my house, in my own little energy vortex, I can. And and that being said, it's also going into shadow work season. And so a lot of shadow work is coming back into your body and being grounded. And so it's like a thin line, right? Because if you're grounded, then it's takes less energy to tune into your higher self or your guides or your angels. And sometimes people get that mixed up because they think they just need to be in a higher frequency, but you still have to be grounded. And then when you're doing the actual healing, a lot of times you have to come back into your body. And sometimes that's on a lower frequency, right? Because we as humans are on a lower frequency than the ascended masters and the angels and the guides, right? So it's like this little dance of when can I go up there where it's more comfortable, and when do I need to come back down into my body where I can do the work and move some energy and then kind of go back up for a little vacation is kind of what it feels like right now. But I do have the feeling that this full moon is going to help quite a bit releasing some of the intensity of the energies. And then that is on Sunday. Yep, the 15th, the 15th. So hang in there and try to use your energy regulation tools. Another good one is just to, if you're feeling overwhelmed, I'll just put my hand on my heart, because it's scientifically proven that if you touch a part of your body, your attention goes there. And so it'll bring your tension out of your head down into your heart. And then you can just focus on your breathing for a few minutes. That a lot of times will stop the spinning if you have like so many things going on. Also, I like to try to pick like my top. It's usually 6, but in times like this, sometimes I narrow it down to 4 things that I want to get done that day. And then at the end of the day, I can go back and look. And if I got those 4 things done, then I had a successful day. I know 4 things seems like a little bit, but it's a little bit better than you would have if you wouldn't have intentionally picked 4 things, right? And that way you can prioritize and get the things that are most important done first. And that will help. And another thing I've done is I've canceled a lot of obligations that weren't necessary obligations, let's put it that way. I have been running around to all sorts of expos and things like that, and I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm gonna enjoy the last couple weeks of the year and the holidays. I work Christmas this year, so I'll be at work during the actual holiday, but I plan on celebrating Yule on the 21st, and I have some plans for that, and I'm just kind of ready to ease into winter. So winter energy is, first day of winter is the 21st of December, and that's the winter solstice, and that's also the pagan holiday Yule. And it's when you celebrate the return of the light. So our days start getting longer on the 21st. So we don't have that far to go, and it's going to start getting better slowly, as far as how much light we have. And this is when our energy supports us going in and doing shadow work and inner child healing and just resting and letting our bodies recuperate, right? Like our bodies are this amazing, I don't even know what to call them, right? Because we're not a machine, obviously. Being, I guess, that when we give it what it needs, and including nutrients, rest, exercise, water, it can literally heal itself. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff we put in our bodies now aren't healthy, and they're not helping us. They're making us unhealthy. I don't want to get into that because that's kind of a bummer. And like I said, I've been having trouble because the more I learn, the more I realize half the stuff I go into the grocery store to look at isn't even good for me. So then I'm like, okay, well, it's winter. I didn't do a garden, so I got to do the best I can, right? And so I'm working on that too. But at least if we're trying, it's better than not trying. And we can't expect to be perfect at everything. So anything you can do to just eat more whole foods and lots of good water, I would say will help for sure. And then it's a great time to start journaling if you're not doing that already. I do have cards here. I wasn't sure if anybody, I can answer questions, do readings, do cards, do whatever you want. If you guys have questions about anything, put them in the comments and I'll tune in and maybe pull a card or maybe just let you know what my higher self and my guides are telling me to pass on to you. That's one really fun thing that I've learned doing this energy work is that we have such a team of different energy bodies, whether it's spirit animals, spirit guides, angels, um, gods, goddesses, guardians. There's so many, and ancestors, and they're all just there rooting us on, waiting for us to tap in and get their information, guidance. And so one of the fun things you can do then is that you can work with your spirit team. Like for instance, I have a particular person that I'm doing healing around, but I just know in my heart that it's not going to be one of those things where we get together and have coffee and talk about it. So, one of the other ways you can heal that connection is by working with your spirit guides and asking your spirit guides to work with their spirit guides. And then they can work out the healing for the highest and best good of all, right? And I've been working with that a lot more the last couple months, and it's been really healing for me. And I guess at the end of the day, that's kind of the only thing we're in charge of, right? Is ourselves and our own healing. So if if there's someone that's passed on, maybe, or someone that you just don't feel comfortable being around in person, you can either call in angels, spirit guides, God, whatever you believe in, and ask them to work with their angels or their spirit guides. Or, like, I guess if you're Christian and you believe in God, just ask God to work it out between the both of you and on his end, right? Or her end if you believe in a female God. And and they'll do that. And then you'll notice because you'll tune back in every now and then like how's it going? Like I think I've noticed some things changing in me and da 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 da. Like you'll feel it because like for me, one of the people that I've been working on healing some stuff with is my ex-husband, right? And we never see each other, but we have kids together. And so I can tell through the healing that's been happening in the ethers, things are changing with our relationships with our kids and in our kids' lives. So I know the healing's being done. I see proof of it. And so I'm a total believer. And it's just nice because, especially like if you have a passed on loved one, it's hard to think that, oh, I missed that chance to make amends or tell them the thing I always wanted to tell them. And you really didn't. Like, you still can, it's just in a different way. So you might not be able to hold their hand and look them in the eye, right? But you can get a picture out and you can talk to the picture and have your spirit guides or just connect with them spiritually because they're your ancestors if it's a relative or a passed on loved one or a friend. And you can have that talk with them. And then you might get a little shaken because you might start hearing them talking back and you're like, oh my God, I'm making this stuff up. But you're not making it up. That's them communicating with you. And then you can do this healing process still. It doesn't have to be an in-person while everybody is still on the planet healing. So I don't know why. I guess somebody must have needed to hear that. That's either on or gonna watch the replay. And I can help you with that too. What do I got here? I'm just gonna read a comment here. Oh, I think this might be a spammer. It is. Never mind. Um, So I'm gonna draw a few cards just because I have a feeling that some people are gonna be watching this in the replay, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, I wish I would have been on there to ask her questions." Okay, so um, this is one of my favorite decks. It's the Awakened Dreamer deck. The one that popped out right away is the Midas muscle. It says, because of your willingness to grow and glow along your life journey, you've developed the Midas touch. The more you flex your Midas muscle by looking for the blessings in disguise, the more everything you see, feel, and bump into turns into gold. That reminds me. So they've been saying a lot about this full moon on the 15th being a very auspicious manifesting moon, and that we should be really watching our thoughts like this last week before that. Because we can manifest at such an alarmingly fast rate. So, I know it's impossible to be always happy and always thinking positive, but when you find yourself falling into any of that like stinking thinking, now would be a good time for you to be like cancel, reframe it, rephrase it, do something to get your mind off it, and just either think about nothing or sleep or meditate or affirmations. I've been working a lot on affirmations. Oh boy, a bunch of cards are falling out here. This is funny. So this one came out for me earlier, so I'll read this one too. It says discipline. The card's called Blisscipline. Discipline yourself to spend increasingly more time in bliss, even if it's only one moment longer than you think you can handle. Blisscipline puts you in the center of the spiral that twirls and swirls you ever upward, from glory to greater glory and beyond. So, bliss is kind of one of these new words to me that I never really had in my vocabulary, which I find interesting. But it's been popping up a lot this last 6 months, and so I know that's definitely a message for me. I don't know if it is for one of you guys watching the replay too. This is an interesting one because I just posted something kind of like this today. It says, wanderlust is a must. Take time today to wander into the wavelength of wonder. Float without a destination. Move when you are moved and create without an agenda. Even just a few minutes of sacred sabbatical opens the floodgates to untold inspiration. So I love this, and this is another great reminder for me. If you have been thinking a lot and lots of decision making and planning and things like that, taking time out to imagine any kind of art, do anything creative, it's really going to help give your brain a rest, and it will help you re-energize, because your brain, when all it does is think all the time, it just gets exhausted, and it's like working nonstop without ever taking a break, right? And some of us go to sleep thinking about things, and then we dream about things all night, and then we wake up thinking about things. And so you got to give that brain of yours a little break and a little fun. And I know it's been on my heart a lot lately to do some artwork because I like to paint and draw and do things like that. And so probably going to do some of that tonight. And yes, just a reminder, try not to let too many of those stinking thinking thoughts creep in between now and, man, I would almost say the end of the year, but I think the 15th is the peak of it with that full moon. And then if there's anything that you're trying to create for 2025, it would be a great time to be thinking and planning about that. You don't have to have it all planned out. It's just the planting the seeds and the thinking positive. And oh, talk to you later, Jamie. You have a good night too. I remember those days when I had little kids I had to put to bed. It seems like yesterday, and my baby's 21 now, so it was a long time ago. So enjoy those putting the kids to bed. So yeah, the 15th is the full moon and it's an auspicious day for manifesting. So keep that in mind. Use your energy health tools because they'll definitely help you. We are doing a women's circle in DL on the 21st. I think we have like 3 spots left if you're interested. That's going to be during the day, which is the winter solstice, the 21st. And yeah, I know it seems weird, like it's Christmas time, right? So who wants to just pull out the arts and crafts? But for real, whether it's cooking something new or making ornaments or just sitting down and like with one of those adult color books, set a timer, give yourself a half hour. It's not going to kill you and you can waste a half an hour scrolling on TikTok and that's really not doing your brains any favors, right? Just keep stimulating that dopamine. But that's a topic for another day. So I'm wishing you all well. I hope that physically, mentally, spiritually, in any other way you can think of, that you are managing the holiday season and being able to enjoy it. That's the goal. I know if you've got little kids, sometimes you think that you have to run them all over the place to make sure they see everything and do everything. And as a mom with grown children, let me tell you that 9 times out of 10, that wears you out so that you are not present and the best parent you can be. And so sometimes you're better off just staying home and making popcorn and watching a movie and cuddling on the couch. Don't should yourself to death. The best thing you can do for your kids during the holidays is keep yourself in a positive mental health state so that you're there to support them because their lives are crazy too, whether it's daycare or school, programs, sports, right? Everything gets a little more energized around the holidays. And then everybody's probably planning vacations or I know when we were kids, we were worried about missing our friends on Christmas break, but I know nowadays they have so much technology that they probably keep in touch better. We didn't even have cell phones back then, so, that was back in the dark ages. But take care of you and try to find some joy in whichever holidays you're celebrating this time of year. All right, my friends, I will see you again soon. Happy holidays, and I'm sending love to all of you.